Good evening. Welcome to a Belt Buckles and Boots big American Civil War Sunday live stream. Hello, welcome in. This is the 26th North Carolina live stream. Hello. Hello, everybody. Welcome, everyone watching this live. Hello. I've got a couple in here already, or four of you already in here. Tim, Thomas, Mark, and David. Hello. Good evening. Everyone watching this back on YouTube, hello, welcome in. I hope you've all had a good Sunday, good weekend, and a good week since we last met. But yes, welcome back. I've been feeling rotten all day, and I've perked up very slightly in the past 5 minutes. So we're going to see how long we can stream for. Hopefully a long time. Hello, Blake, welcome in. Hello, everybody. Hello. It's worth me saying now that I'm actually away next weekend. I failed miserably this month of doing my stream schedule. I didn't do it. And it's a bit late to do it now because we're basically through the month now. So I'll do it for August, but I am actually away next weekend. So there will be no live stream then. Just in case I forget to say it, but yeah, there we go. As always, please check out all our socials. We have, I'm on Instagram, I'm on TikTok, I'm on, obviously, YouTube and Facebook. Please do feel free to share anything you're working on the Facebook community group, as well as my YouTube community page, because we tend to check them out on our live stream. So please do. Also, just let me know in the chat what you've been working on. A few of you already are, so that's wonderful. David, tonight I'm painting up some headwear of Napoleonic Austrian dragoons and hussars. Very cool. Thomas, working on his Dead Man's Hand Cavalry Company. Very cool. Doing a 1-to-1 scale, not scale, size company. So I don't know, what's that, 120 miniatures? I don't know how that period of cavalry companies sized. And Tim is working on magnetizing and covering up his sharp practice bases. Very nice. Very cool. Well, we are working on some Rebellion Miniatures Ragged Webs. So that's what we're doing today. Thomas's cavalry company is 100 troopers. There we go. I know quite often they are about that. So I've just chucked some photos up on the community page over on Facebook, where I've just so last night I sat down and put a load of flags on my HQ units. You can see in there. So I finally got around to doing some flags. I've got, basically they're all done apart from Strong Vincent, who I showed off last time, but oh, I'm on the wrong camera. Here you go, Strong Vincent. So he's got a flag bearer there, but I've got no flag bearer. I'm forgetting completely that he is in fact 5th Corps, so I don't have any 5th Corps flags. And I can't remember how much we spoke about it last stream, but I don't know whether I'm just going to buy the Flags of War Corps flag sheet. For anyone who doesn't know what I'm on about, I've got one here. This is my weather damaged one. I wonder why I've cut 4th Brigade flag out. That's weird. Anyway, this like Flags of War Corps sheet here. I don't know if I pick up one of them for 5th Corps, or I just buy just the single flag from G&B, or it's a pair of flags. I'm torn at the moment. I am torn. Buying the full sheet gives me the opportunity to do more 5th Corps models, which isn't a bad thing. Whereas just buying the one flag, yeah, and it's just technically it's cheaper if you're buying the big flag sheet. However, I'm not going to be using all of them. For example, my 1st Corps that I've just done. So I have just used the flag sheet. So I've had the 1st Corps HQ, and then 1st Division, 1st and 2nd Brigades. Now, I might look at using the Artillery Brigade flag, because that's quite cool. But as for the other ones, I just don't know if I'd use them. I think I could, because they're actually they are just really cool looking flags. They are really cool looking flags. So I don't know. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. Strong Vincent, I've got to have 5th Corps flags, haven't I? Because it's iconic. But maybe for any other divisional commands I do, maybe I'll just look at using 1st Corps. It just seemed a shame if I wanted to look at doing 12th Corps or 11th Corps or 5th Corps, then I've just got a load of flags left over, so it's a real shame. Right. Ugh. Yeah, as I was saying earlier, I've just been rotten all day. I don't know, recently, Sundays, it just hits me heavy, you know? I just feel so tired all day. I fell asleep earlier for like half an hour. And then I've had also I've out of nowhere had a really bad toothache. And that's just taken it out of me. So I've been trying to pop as many painkillers as I can. But I'm feeling a bit better. Right. Ooh, Blake's working on a Panther tank for bolt action. Nice. What Mark Panther are you going for? Oh, man, I need to. I was just thinking the other day about some World War II stuff. I bought a load of 15mm stuff from Flames of War, essentially. I wasn't using it for Flames of War, but I bought a load of their miniatures. And I just thought about it the other day, doing like a Sherman troop or something like that. So maybe I'll revisit it. I should do, really. I should do. David's trying to paint pen for the first time. Is that the paint pens of Army Painter? These are the speed paint pens by Army Painter. I used them a while back. Just not entirely convinced with them. But I went for the metallics. Maybe I shouldn't have done. They're cool, but the nibs are just really quite big. And for anything really intricate, it just doesn't work. For me. Thomas says, let me know what they're like, the paint pens. Because you want to try them. Yeah. Please do share your findings, David. I'd be interested, David, actually, based on the scale you paint at, what do you think of them? Because I was obviously painting at 28mm. Blake says I've been using paint pens for a while and I really recommend them. They're so easy to use. Yeah, I like them. It's just the colours. I went obviously for a gold and a silver, these two pens. But for just what I was doing, the nibs just seemed big. And yeah, I just don't know. It's quite big. Like I was trying to do gun barrels, and I just felt that a smidge awkward. Like maybe the nib could have just been dealt with just a little bit smaller, and then I would have preferred that a bit more. But I mean, yeah, maybe I just need to practice more with them. Thomas, should I change my cavalry commands for a Mag Civil War / Dead Man's Hand to be an officer bugler with 2 guerdons, or keep it as 2 officers but a bugler and 1 guerdon? Is it guidon? Good question. I think 2 flags on a base might be a bit too much, you know. Maybe have 2 cool looking officers. Right, let's jump down onto the table, shall we? Onto the paint table. Yeah, I don't know, Thomas. Maybe 2 officers. For example, I'm gonna be doing Buford's command, and I'm just gonna give him 1 flag, I think. In fact, I've got Buford's flags here somewhere. I keep putting them somewhere. I've got flags pouring out my. Yeah, so I've got these command flags, but I'm saying that the flags are really nice looking. So if you've got nice looking flags, then sod it. Why not go for 2? I need to look into my flags and see what I'm going to do. Maybe two. Maybe two. If that be the case, I need a second flag bearer. David said they brackets paint pens are useful for tidying up. For example, the Austrian infantry wear a head crest of yellow and black to get the thin strip of yellow. I edged with the black pen. The pens are AK pens. Yeah, so I've got the eye painter. I quite like the AK. I use terrain AK terrain stuff, and their weathering powders. I think I've used AK. Oh, main thing. Thomas says the main reason I'm thinking of changing it is that I'm already buying 2 sets of flags for consistency, i.e., dismounted and mounted. Yeah. See, I've seen someone do. Was it Lee with Back Bunker HQ? I don't know how I can't remember. Well, my brain's like a sieve. That's why I can't remember. Anyway, Lee, I think he basically bought 1 set of flags for the regiment, and he'd have 1 flag on the mounted and the other on the dismounted. Then you're not buying 2 sets of flags. But I'm not gonna do mounted and dismounted for my. I think like my dismounted cavalry, I'm going to be doing as Buford's command, and then my mounted cavalry, maybe I'll look at stuff like, for example, Custer's command. Maybe pick a more iconic cavalry mounted battle and pick units from there. Who knows? Right, we were from memory. We were doing grey uniforms. Let's carry on with that. Right. I hope everyone's survived the heat, maybe. I don't know. I've not felt incredibly hot this week. Although today I finally had enough of the beard. And my shaver went wrong and went a little too short, and I didn't realise until I was sort of halfway through. And I was like, that's a bit short. I had a look, and the shaver twizzled itself. So I've gone really short on the beard. But a little bit of the heat's just getting to me, and I'm trying to get a haircut before next weekend. For everyone who don't know, I've got my LARP weekend next weekend. And also, for anyone who doesn't know, at my LARP weekends, I play as an orc, so I've got to wear like a mask, and it gets very hot. So I tend to have my hair cut down quite a bit. So I'm comfortable, but I haven't done that. And my neighbour, who is a hairdresser, I've asked them if they could squeeze me in, but I don't know. They might be a bit busy. Right, where are we? Thomas says he used to just have 1 set of flags, but then it started to irk him. So the 2 different flags. Yeah, nah, fair enough. I don't know how attached I am to. So in my head, I'm like, oh, I'll just go stars and bars because it's cool looking. I don't know how fussed I am with the actual. I don't know actually. Again, maybe commands like HQs have 2 flags, but then the actual regiment's just the 1. I don't know yet. Cavalry's still not something I've really dipped into much. I know we've done a few on the stream. But yeah, as a collection, I've not actually got a lot. Right, anyway, where are we? Where are we? So these guys are primarily grey uniformed because I've chosen it. It's funny how using contrast paints. When I first started using them, I thought maybe they were quite a sloppy way to paint. Maybe not sloppy, but maybe I considered them lazy. But one thing I've realised is actually got to be a lot more neater with them. Because conventional painting, you can sort of go over your mistakes. Whereas with contrast paints, or speed paints, whatever you use. That's not such a potential. Blake, I was at Gettysburg for the 4th of July and I got overheated and ended up in hospital. Bloody hell, it was 111 degrees Fahrenheit, not Celsius. Just for anyone baffled. Degrees that day. You got a taster of what the boys had at the actual Gettysburg then, because there is evidence that, or writings that it was incredibly hot, and like before Pickett's charge, there were people passing out with heat stroke and stuff, whilst they were stood there waiting for the charge to go off. But I hope it wasn't too bad for you, Blake. It's cool that you got to go to Gettysburg on the 4th of July. I'm sorry you had a horrible experience otherwise. But we could argue you had a more authentic experience. Maybe. But no, that sounds rough. I need to figure out. Actually, I'd be interested to hear what you got up to at Gettysburg. Actually, did you manage to do any battlefield tours? Did some of the park rangers will do walks. Be interesting to see if you've got any of that. Here's a question for all of you then. And we're going to test Mark's knowledge now, if he's listening. I know he sometimes dots out of the stream. If you were going to Gettysburg for the day, and you could only pick one battlefield walk to do. So battlefield walk is like you get a park ranger to walk around with you, and they'll talk about a moment of a battle, for example. What battle walk would you want to do if you could only choose one? And you could choose whatever one you wanted. What would you like to choose? So you've got the likes of, I don't know, Culp's Hill, Little Round Top, Pickett's Charge. I'd be interested to hear what your guys would choose. I'm going to go through my thinking behind it. I've just noticed it's saying the stream is struggling a bit. I hope we didn't lose anything. Blake has confirmed that it was very historically accurate having heat stroke at Gettysburg. Again, I'm sorry I realise I went a bit silly and tried to joke about it, but I hope you were okay, mate. But I hope it didn't ruin your experience. Yeah, so I tend to quite often watch a lot of the Battlefield tours. You can access or you can get hold of them through a YouTube channel called Stuff Writer, who will often record the Battlefield tours. So I've seen quite a few. One I don't think I've really seen would be, as we were, maybe it's just fresh in mind because we've just been talking about Buford and his cavalry. I don't think I've seen one about sort of the first day. I think that would be a cool one to do, where you get to see the sort of first corps do its thing. I don't know. That's just my thinking. I think it could be cool. David said one episode of the Battle of Gettysburg podcast features the contemporary weather reports. So we get to actually see what it was like. Thomas, I'm not sure if it's heat or other factors, but I just haven't been as productive as normal this week in hobbying. Painted about one mounted mini all week. I think heat's a factor, mate. I think heat is a factor. I've strangely been quite productive. Not as productive as I could have been, but yeah. Tim says Culp's Hill, Green and his Vermonters. Green. Am I right thinking Green is like one of the oldest generals in the army of Potomac? I assume he was a general and wasn't a colonel. He's what he snapped them. He got them all into breastworks. Am I right in thinking that was Green? He knew what was coming, and he got his troops to construct breastworks to defend Culp's Hill. Could say that saved it. So yeah, one vote for Culp's Hill, cool. Davey says whichever one Gary Oldman is doing. I would want Matt Atkinson, if I'm honest. I like Gary Oldman, but if you could only pick one of the Park Rangers, I think it'd have to be Matt. Just that's my personal preference. Just because I prefer his accent to start with. He's got a charming accent, and he knows how to spin a yarn. Although I don't know. That's a good question, actually. I don't know whether Gary Oldman might be better in the sort of presentation side of it. I don't know. Whereas Matt on the battlefield tour itself. So Blake said, "Yeah, I was there for 5 days. We just drove around and stopped at locations. I saw the reenactment. That was cool. Oh, of course, yeah. That's very nice. You should visit Gettysburg. Blake, it's on my to-do list. I told my wife a couple of years ago that for my 40th birthday, I want to do a battlefield tour in America for a couple of weeks. I gave her plenty of notice, so she can save up for it. And I think on my 40th birthday will be the my birth year is 93, so it means it will fall on the 200th, and I can't do the maths. It'll fall on an anniversary. So yeah, I'm up for doing it. So yes, it's my plan. And then again, talking to Lee at Battle Bunker, and they sort of gave me an itinerary because Lee and Mel did it a while back, and they were basically saying you can sort of comfortably in a week do 3 battlefield tours. So it's like First Manassas, Gettysburg, and I can't remember what the other one was. So yeah, I'll try to do as many as I could. I think I'd have to do First Manassas. I'd have to do Gettysburg. Not sure on the other one really. But yes, I would love to, Blake, and it's on my bucket list. It is on my bucket list. Thomas says the Wheatfield, the Irish Brigade under Kelly, as well as F.R. Corby. Is that Francis Corby? Yes. Wheatfield, though. Yeah, very nice one. So 1 vote for Culp's Hill, 1 vote for the Wheatfield. David, the American Foot Battle Trusts have a comprehensive catalogue, including the first day. Yeah, the American Battlefield Trust is an awesome tool. It's got a load of they have loads of awesome sort of information and stuff on the battle. So 100%. And again, through the YouTube channel like Stuff Writer, where you basically get to see the battlefield tours. That's awesome. Although I'd like to be there in person. I think Lee at Battle Bunker was telling me that they went there for one of the anniversaries, or maybe they reenacted the anniversary, and they walked Pickett's Charge. And they were saying how it's quite a powerful moment. Right, I'm not keeping up with it. Right, so yes, so Tim's replying to my comment about Green being the oldest general. Yes, he was at the ripe old age of 62. He was the oldest general. Doesn't seem that old. I feel like there would have been oldest. But yes, he built the breastworks on Culp's Hill. He ordered his men to dig in. Which, yeah, like, was it Johnson who attacked Culp's Hill? That was the Stonewall Brigade was Culp's Hill from memory, weren't they? Under the command of, was it Johnson? Can't remember if it's Johnson or Johnston. Whoever took it over. Where were we? Where were we? David said the oldest field general at Gettysburg. Yes, his brigade was left to cover the hill. He got them making breastworks. Jim Hessler is good for a Sickles fan. Is Jim Hessler a Park Ranger? Sorry, where I'm like reading it out of like people are replying to me, but then I talk about other stuff. I end up just losing track of things. Thomas, if not Gettysburg, then Sunken Road or Bloody Lane at Antietam, famed for the Irish Brigade being there, where the armies are set. Really must do D.H. Hill's division as their Union attackers, as you have their Union attackers. Yeah, nice. Father Corby, I thought it was. I think, Thomas, I have a Father Corby printed out somewhere. Got him from Studio Historia. I don't know. Maybe I never printed. Yeah, I thought it was Father Corby. Yeah, it's cool. Very nice. He was a preacher. Wish I could be an extra in the Red Badge of Courage. Tim, did you just share that on the Facebook page? Because yeah, I'll check that out. Thomas, when you consider that the majority of the Eastern Theatre was fought within a 100-mile stretch of Virginia, Maryland, and Pennsylvania, yeah, I guess you can hit quite a few of the big battlefields fairly easily. David, I think Antietam would fit that itinerary. Potentially. Yeah, I mean, if I was doing 1 week, I might be stuck, but a bit more restricted, but maybe 2 weeks, yeah. Blake said, I walked Pickett's Charge also. It was very cool. They have walking path, but Little Round Top was my favourite. I saw where the 20th Maine was located. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know where I'd want to visit, if I'm honest, at Gettysburg. Thomas says, I have the Studio Historia's Father Corby. Really want to redo my Studio Historia minis. When you mean redo, do you mean repaint them? And David is replying. Jim Hessler is a Gettysburg battlefield guide and an author of many Gettysburg books. Very nice. Sorry for my lack of knowledge. But nice. Yeah, where would I want to visit Gettysburg? I think you'd have to do Little Round Top. I don't like how... No, it's not that I don't like, but I feel like it's very drummed up. Little Round Top. And I want to almost purposely pay attention to other parts of the battle. But then also it is quite an iconic... It is quite an iconic part of the battlefield, so I think I would have to go there. I would want to go there. Check out Little Round Top. Maybe Hancock's defense against Pickett's charge. That'd be cool. I think I'd want to do Culp's Hill, Peach Orchard, Devil's Den. Again, I don't know the scale of it, realistically, how much you'd get done in a day. Because also, I imagine you don't want to just tire yourself out. So I don't know how many days you would comfortably want to spend in Gettysburg to hit the... Obviously, Gettysburg town itself would be good to spend a bit of time in, just to look around there. But yeah, I don't know how many days should be set aside to visit the battlefield, if I'm honest. As I would want to see as much as I could there. David says Jim also hosts the Battle of Gettysburg podcast. That's probably something I should check out then. I'm in the mood for a new podcast. There's a lot of grey on these minis at the moment, but that's deliberate. There is quite a few of them wearing shirts, so I just need to think about how I'm going to do the shirts. So I know I've recently done the Fire Zouaves, the first Fire Zouaves, and they were all in shirts. But I don't know what shirts I want to do for these Confederates. I don't think I'm going to copy that, because there's a lot of white, red, and grey shirts in the Fire Zouaves. I don't think I want to do that. So I could potentially look at doing some sort of checkered shirts or something like that, but I don't know if that's a bit above my skill / patience level. I don't know if I've got that in me. It would look nice, I guess, and maybe I should then. Maybe I'll give it a go. What does everyone think? How about go at doing some checkered shirts? But then I just don't know what to do for the checkers, you know? Maybe just do like a yellow base and then just put some lines in. Who knows? Thomas, repaint and rebase. My style has changed so much since I've done them 2-ish years ago. Might buy them again to do. Also changing my American Civil War to be mounted on 50mm round bases each, like Tabletop CP have their sharp practice ACW commanders. Very nice. Yeah, I get what you... Sometimes it's maybe easier to just start again, you know? I've got it with my war. I've got an old fantasy dwarf army for Warhammer, and a while ago I bought them and I painted them for Age of Sigmar when it first ever came out. Age of Sigmar. I had them, so I painted them up. Back then, my paints, it was a bit different style to what I do these days. And then me and my mates started playing Saga Age of Magic. So I had this Age of Sigmar army, which I'd already bought secondhand, stripped and repainted. I ended up stripping and repainting it again for Saga. And now I'm sort of eyeing it up at making the army a Warhammer Old World army. But it means stripping it again for like the third time, because my paint styles have changed again. And one, I wouldn't know how to paint them the way I did before, and two, I don't quite like them how they are now. So I would want to have a go at doing a better job with them. And then a part of me's like, I've got the likes of Highland Miniatures prints that I could print out, and then I'm thinking to myself, do I just sell off my old dwarf collection and start it all again in Highland Miniatures. That's where I'm at with it. Because also my old collection, like, I wouldn't say it was a complete dwarf army. I had like loads of infantry, but you'd struggle to make a semi-competitive list out of what I had. So I'm not going to be losing much by getting rid of it and starting again. But yeah, sometimes it's just easier than having to strip it all down again. I've still got a few of my American Civil War regiments that haven't made it past the rebasing stage yet. Because that can be quite time consuming. Just clipping them all off there. So a lot of my collection started off on pennies in salad bases, and now they're all going to multi-basing. So yeah, it's like you got to clip them all off, then put them onto multi-basing, and yeah, I've not. Even now, when I started my Napoleonic French, I've put them onto 40mm squares, whereas my American Civil War's on 45s. And even now, I'm like, oh, I quite like the look of a 40mm base, but I'm not taking all those miniatures back off to put them on 40s. No thanks. Yeah, it's the curse, isn't it? David said they've moved the podcast to YouTube, but some are still on audio. Nice. David wants me to paint difficult textures by the looks of it, different paint schemes. I don't know. Maybe Google on how. I think if I were to do checker top, I don't know. Maybe should we look at some artwork at some point and we'll have a look at what top shirts are common at the time. Thomas, plus I lost my studio historia General Mahan, so need to pick him up again anyways. My one is kicking around somewhere. I'm pretty sure it is him. Because I printed and painted him, and I think I was using him as Gould Shaw. Robert Gould Shaw. I think I was using him, proxying as him, when I did a few games with my 54th Massachusetts. So I technically do have Irish Brigade Commander. That's another thing, like, there's a few brigades and stuff that I have in my collection that I haven't done HQ base. So I know I was talking earlier about doing the first corps HQs and stuff. Well, I haven't done the Irish Brigade headquarters. Another brigade I've done is Strong Vincent's, which I know I'm doing him at the moment. So yeah, there's quite a few that I need to go through them all again and just be like, okay, what bases do I want? What commands do I need to do? And even then, I've said before, like doing some artillery commands as well. I got to remember there's a few patchwork, sort of patch knees and stuff on these sculpts, so I need to remember to go back and paint them. David says I've painted 3 stripes of addicts on my Blood Bowl team, and a reference in zebra stripes. Do played. Is that how you pronounce it? Played. Plaid. Do that. I'll give it a Google, mate, and I'll see if I've got the skills. Shirt. Everyone's wearing shirts on this strip here. No one's gonna. I mean, I don't mind it actually going maybe quite a few shirts because you can have a bit more of a colourful unit maybe, but. Let's try it. Let's try it. I just don't want all the shirts to look samey. I kind of want to, but I don't know how to do that. I guess maybe if we do sort of 3 red shirts, but have one of them sort of having a pattern, a sort of a pattern to it. I've been wanting to do some checkered shirts for some of my American Civil War Dead Man's Hand fit. Yeah, I think it's quite that common look, but it's not something I've ever done because I'm like, oh, I don't want to spend that much time on a miniature, but maybe I do it just to look nice. And we got these lovely sculpts from Rebellion Miniatures. It might be worth spending a bit of time making them look smart. I think I'm going to go do the blue hats yet, the sort of Mexican war hats. I'm going to do them in a sec. And then it's on to... We'll have a think about... We're going to have a think about... We'll have a brainstorm about the shirts. Because, yeah, I can add checkered onto the shirts if I just chuck all the base colours down for now, and then I can add the checkers on at a later date. As long as the colour I'm using is darker. Dead men don't wear plague. Right, please tell me if I'm pronouncing it wrong, because I don't know how to pronounce the word, but yes. David said they will be immune to dying. Well, maybe that's what we do then. I think the 26th North Carolina need a bit of fight to them, as they got a job to do, haven't they? Okay, that is all the grey I'm doing. Now, the Mexican American War hats. Plaid. Thank you, Theramar. Plaid. Thomas, I say Theramar, Mark, thank you. Thomas says, lol, just about to try my hand at some plaid on Rebellion minis now. Well, sounds like that's what we do with Rebellion miniatures. I'm going to do the Mexican American war hats, or the 18. I think they're the 1839 field caps, what do they call them, or wheel caps. I think some of you say. Davey said pronounced plaid like dad, but spelt not like that. But yeah, that's fine. Thank you very much for everyone. So yeah, a few people have said they should be dark blue, these sort of wheel hats. I've seen them in multiple colours. So shall we just have a bit of fun with it and do a fair few in blue? Because I think the militias pick them up as well. And you might find that some of the militias thought, sod it, let's change colours. I don't know. This guy's going to have a blue one. Well, it's a bit like some of the Confederate soldiers picking up like blue Union jackets and then trying to dye them not blue. So maybe we'll have that sort of vibe. You might try dye them a different colour. Or like the Louisiana Tigers, who dyed all their jackets brown after the fight at First Manassas because they had horrendous friendly fire in that battle. So Right, let's do another couple of blue hats, and then that leaves. I think I'm going to do a grey one and a brown one because that's what I want to do. Do you reckon that goes? I think I'm going to do the blue down to the hairline. That's my other one. By the way, Dead Man Don't Wear Plaid is an excellent film. I'm going to make an assumption, David. Is it a John Wayne film? I just assumed it was when you quoted it. I was like, yeah, it sounds like it's probably a John Wayne film. He was very busy back in the day, wasn't he? All right, maybe one more blue, and then what did I say? One more blue, and then we'll do a grey and a brown. It's one of my favourite hats, these Mexican American war hats. And it's a shame that not sort of manufacturers don't do them as much. I know Perry's do them in their metal range, but part of me wants them in the plastic range. And I kind of like that with Studio Historia. They brought out some with their set. Their those hats, and I just like them. They're smart. Uh-oh. I've just seen a weather report for my weekend away next weekend. What are we looking at? Ah. Okay. Not terrible. So I go away Thursday. We've got mid, sort of low 20s on the Thursday, high 20s on the Friday, mid to low 20s on the Saturday, and then high 20s on the Sunday. So, ooh, I don't know. It's Steve Martin, a spoof of the Mike Hammer detective film noir movies. Oh, right. Oh. It's not something I've really heard of then. I'll have to give it a gander. Right, I've lost one of these hats now. Not him, because he's wearing too much grey. It's this guy here. Thomas says, not great, not terrible. What, the temperature, Thomas? Yeah, it could be worse, couldn't it? Obviously, I go away camping. And it's so it is a lot weekend, but I don't know. You could compare it to such things as like a reenactment where you put all your tents up, like your canvas tents up and stuff. And for any of you do sort of reenactment or anything like that, it's similar vibes. So I get there on Thursday. I've got to set this big canvas tent up, and then I pack down on a Sunday, where I take it all back down. So the Thursday's nice and cool, so I won't be sweating too much. Just the Sunday's a bit of a tough one. But, I mean, we'll just have to survive it. Right, what do I like for my browns? I want a lighter brown. I would go for the Fire Drake brown, but that's what I use for my wood. Right, let's take some inspiration from my Studio Historia stuff I've got here. So I think I went for snakebite leather, which I'm going to use. I think that is snakebite leather. I'm going to use that. Thomas, yeah, the weather. Throw in a Chernobyl TV show reference. Oh, sorry, yeah. Oh, that was an extremely good series. Very good. Right, I'm just trying to find my colours a minute. That's Agaros. Here's snakebite. Or do we go for a Gore Grunter fur? Not great, but not terrible. Friday is a problem, says Mark. for anyone who doesn't know, Mark will be with me at LARP, hence his experience. But also, Mark, by the time the sun is at its height, so our weekends when we go to LARP, essentially we're playing a game for the weekend, a role playing game. The game doesn't start till 6 o'clock on the Friday night. So I'd like to think that the worst of the weather, it starts to be cooling down, I'm hoping. Right, I've gone for Gore Grunter Fur for this cap. How much you can see that. It's kind of a real orangey brown. I'm just going to flow with it, I think. Maybe I should have... I said I was going to go Snakebite and I didn't. No, I don't dislike it. Don't dislike it at all. I think that's what I would go for leather. Oh, this guy is wearing a jacket and I've not painted him grey. Maybe I need to go back and do that, because that's definitely not a shirt. Alright, we've got to go back and do him. Tim, when you snakebite leather, can you do a close-up afterwards? I'd like to see if it's something I want to add to my contrast paint selection. Yes, Tim, I will purposely now go paint something snakebite leather, because I told you I was doing it and then I've changed my mind. But yes, I will do that. Let me paint this grey here, and then we'll look at a hat to do snakebite leather. I can show you it on from memory. These troops here. So snakebite leather is this guy's hat here. And that's compared to his sort of jacket, which is an Agaros Dunes. I think this guy's got a snakebite leather hat as well. So, but yeah, I'll do it on one of these, mate. Thomas, I have the first outing of my Indian Wars cavalry uniform next week for a play in the local community, but I was putting an Indians war kit anyway. Ooh, very cool. What's the is there much difference in the Indian Wars cavalry kit? I've just lost this guy. So. Do you find the cavalry the uniform changes much from the American Civil War? In fact, I might, Tim. Yeah, it was Tim. I might do one of the shirts in snakebite leather, and we can have a look at it that way. So it might actually be a nice colour to add a bit of checkering on. Hey Soraya, welcome in. Welcome in. Your stream seemed to go very well yesterday. I'm a big fan of the wig. Right. Tom says not much, just a 4-button sack coat and more slouch hats and cappies. I'm a big fan of the kepi. I get maybe in the cavalry they want to. I assume it's just better for riding in the all sorts of weathers. The slouch hats, because rain it protects you a bit, sun it gives you a better sun visor. It's probably just a bit more practical, especially when I guess maybe in the Indian Wars the cavalry are expected to be a bit more independent, perhaps. All right. Another chat in grey. Tim said Gore Grunter fur is one of my favourites and most used colours. Yeah, I've been using it for cavalry on horses. I don't know. I go through phases of certain paints where I like them and use them a lot, and then don't. So I'm very good, thank you. I'm feeling a bit under the weather today. I've just been a bit run down all day. I don't know whether I'm just tired because I've been up late quite a bit, and then I've had a really bad toothache. But I mean, I've taken a load of painkillers now, and it's gone away. It's one I had a bit of work done to a couple of months ago, and now I'm worried that it's going to be really painful when I'm going away next weekend, and I can't really afford to have a sore tooth all weekend. Tim, hello. Very good. Mark's congratulated Soraya on her wine consumption. So, if anyone doesn't know, Soraya does live streams over on Twitch. She done like a talent show last night, and I'm not going to say anything, but from what I've heard, they consumed quite a bit of wine. David says they should all wear hardy hats, as is the tradition, mate. If they want to be classy, they wear hardy hats. That's what all the class is. Thomas, well, for my period anyways, the shell jacket was still used to about 1873 with the introduction of the Colt Single Action Army and Springfield breech loaders. My kit is 7th Cav at Little Bighorn. Very nice. Tim saying Gore Grunt is a good leather colour. It's quite a rich colour, isn't it? Boo, sorry to hear that. Yeah, I'm feeling better now. I thought about maybe cancelling the stream, but then I knew by the time I'd sit down and start chatting, I don't know, it would pick me up, and it has. And I'm away next weekend, so I don't want to let people down and have 2 weeks off from streaming. Okay, first things first. Shirt colours, chaps. We know we're going to do one snakebite leather because I said we would for Tim. I'm going to do a red shirt because this chap, he just looks like he wants a red shirt. Because I've done a grey hat, grey trousers, so I'm like, red will just make it, red will pop, which will be nice. We'll put a snakebite leather shirt down and just see how it goes. I think maybe I'll do a null oil wash on one of them as well, just to add like a light grey. We've done white shirts in the past, so we've got some white shirts. I turned Simon Cowell into a right lush. Yeah, people can say that. I found it very strange seeing you with short hair, if I'm honest. But my opinion on Simon Cowell's gone up slightly now. So, you should have submitted some of your pics of your paints for the talent show. I should have. Maybe next time. I don't know how niche it is. Like, people might be like, not that fussed about Mag Civil War miniatures. Which is, I don't know. Obviously sacrilege here, but still. The red shirt. Yeah, I know. This is going to be every game. Every time this unit's fired at by a cannon, he'll be the first one to go. The curse of the red shirt. But everyone's got to have one. That brush failing me now. No. I need to do this. So I saw someone doing a thing where if you're using synthetic brushes and they're all misshapen, is put them into boiling water and it would kind of help reform the nib. Maybe I'll have to give it a go. I don't know if the shirts is something I should be doing straight away. I think I'm going to Google some shirt designs. So I want to know what I'm going into when we start doing it. So I might just do red shirt here. Johnny red shirt. So I am using a Blood Angels Red from Citadel. It's a contrast paint. Just assume that any paints I use are contrast or speed paints. But this has got to be one of my most favourite speed paints, contrast paints, because it's a really rich red. It just looks awesome. Yeah, it's a very rich red. It just looks nice. I would paint everything with it. Which then leads into my painting some British up at some point. So I get to use this paint all the time. It'll make my day. Although they try to be fancy, don't they, the British, with sort of little pipe, white and black piping everywhere, which would be a nightmare. But I don't know. Soraya, where are you off to next weekend? I am off to Empire LARP, my LARP hobby. That is next weekend. So I'm off there. So I'll be away Thursday to Sunday. And technically I'll be home by the time the live stream starts next week, but I'm not going to be in the mood to do it. So I tend to skip them. Or by decent brushes, says David. How dare you? No, you're probably right. No, well, quite a few of them are army painter brushes. Do you know what it is, David? I don't look after them. So that is why. So no matter how good my brushes are, I don't look after them. So I just have enough that I rotate, because I find after you leave them for a while, they sort of, I don't know. Some of them, if I leave them for a week or two, they just seem a bit better than when I left them. So I just rotate back to them. It's trying to find a brush that is, it gets a decent amount of paint on the model, but also has a fine nib, a fine tip. Because then I've got some really fine brushes, which are awesome for detail, but they just don't get any paint on anything. It's a curse. My best buy is probably this brush I'm using right now, which is just a cheap brush from the range. And they used to do, they just don't do them anymore. I do keep an eye out, but they just did a selection of these brushes. And I don't know, it was like a pack of 10 for like £8. And I've just kept them going forever. So Ferrari says cool. Enjoy. I'm going to enjoy it, don't worry. I go away with the bestest mates there are possible, and we have a good time. So I will. Thank you. Mark says LARP, who would ever do that? Exactly. David, time to do the Dorman, Police, and Breaches on my Hussars. Bright colour time. What colour Hussars are you going for? I don't know enough about the Austrian Hussars. Although, the Austrian... Is it Austrian cavalry at Borodino charging the fleshes? Am I right in thinking that? They were sort of like all in white, weren't they? Although I don't think they were Hussars, were they? I don't know what they were. But they look cool. I thought about doing some cavalry up for my French, because I could use them for my French and against them. So Thomas says, works out well. I have a retirement party to go to next Sunday, so I won't be at the stream anyway. Well, if it makes you feel better, Thomas, I've done it for you. No. I'll be way too tired, I'm afraid. So I'll have a but then we'll be back to it, and this time I will do a stream schedule for next month. Right, let's do a snakebite leather. Let's do snakebite leather. Get one of them on there. David says, I am synthetic 0 usually for blocks and a sable 5/0s for Rosemary from Rosemary and Co for detail work. Yeah, I picked up some of the Army Painter ones. That's probably my more expensive brushes. But yeah, like, I've got these Army Painter ones. And yeah, I don't know, just look at that nib. I don't know if you can see it. It's just all flayed out. That's not going to focus, is it? It's just, I just don't know what to do. Because that's useless, really. Like that. It's, yeah, so many of my brushes just don't hold. And I bought some of these, which are Revel ones. So many brushes in this pot here are just completely knackered, but I refuse to throw them away. Right, what's going on here then? Okay, let's get on with this. So who's going to have... It's going to be this guy, I've decided. I'm conscious about having all these shirts being different colours. It's going to end up like 7 brides and 7 brothers. So I've got to try add a bit of something to them. Well, I quite like this snake-like leather for this shirt, actually. It's quite nice. A nice sort of mustardy yellow. I'm conscious I don't want to do it too dark. I want to spread it out a bit and get some of the white shining through. Darkened cracked down quite a bit since it's drying, but Tim, are you taking a dig at me? Is this the 7 Bride and 7 Brothers comment? No. Right, let me... It is. This is a nice colour for the shirt, I must admit. You can see it yet. It's coming along. My Rebellion miniatures have one stand with pea green shirt, an orange shirt, and a pink waistcoat. Whoa! Is it? I see what you're saying now. I think what I'm trying to do is maybe just have some. Yeah, that's the only problem with in the past when I've been doing shirts is I'm conscious I don't want just a load of plain shirts because. So I'm trying to, yeah, try avoid sort of plain shirts on these guys. And also going back to looking at some sort of other people's miniatures and stuff. Sometimes when you have these sort of checkered shirts and stuff, it does look really nice. I'm not taking anything away from your work, Tim, don't worry. I'm just trying to think out loud of what I want to do. But there you go, snakebite leather. It seems to have dried a lot darker for some reason. I don't know. But yeah, you got like... In person, it comes across as quite a dark mustard. But I think it's nice. David, the 31st is light blue, red, and white. 32nd is dark brown, light blue, and yellow. And the 33rd are in dark blue, red, and yellow. The dragoons wore white. That's it. I knew they had the dragoon helmet, but I couldn't remember the word dragoon. I just knew they weren't lancers. I was wearing shades at the time. Ah. Says Tim. I like it. Sold. Yeah, give it a go, Tim. Give it a go. So, maybe we hit a couple of grey shirts now. I think I can get away with another red shirt in there, maybe. I'm going to just chuck this Nuln Oil on. I can't remember what I used on the doing the grey shirts when we done the Fire Zouaves. I've done like slight grey shirts on them. I think it is just Nuln Oil, but other black washes are available. We're not sponsored by Nuln Oil. Although it'd be nice, wouldn't it? I should reach out for channel sponsors, but then I'm worried that they would expect content from me, and as I'm piss poor at producing content, I'd fail miserably. Oh, what's everyone's thoughts on the new Warlord Games Epic range? I'll reserve my thoughts until I've heard what everyone else thinks. I'm interested to, obviously, the sort of the little bits we've received so far. From what I've heard on the grapevine, is that's not the entirety of the range. We're still going to get sort of ranked up miniatures. Zulus, thousands of them. Exactly, Thomas. I don't believe it's yeah. So for the pictures we've got, someone said somewhere that there's others coming. So the pictures we've got are very much in sort of a skirmish order, and that's sort of for the British, and even the Zulus are not ranked up properly. So I've seen somewhere someone saying that that's not the entire range. We will be getting ranked up miniatures as well, sort of firing line British ranked up. I'd be interested to see those miniatures. We haven't got to wait long because it'll be the 24th of July, which is next Friday, and I don't know whether that's they're going on to pre-release or what. But either way, we'll find out more from it. But yeah. It's an interesting one to choose, if I'm honest. But then they've done that in the past. Well, what did they release? Well, I'm pretty sure it was Epic. And it was just quite a narrow period. And I remember thinking at the time, if you're going to release a range, I think maybe at a grand scale, like if you're trying to release something like that from a company like that, I think you need to go for quite a broad range because it's going to accommodate so many things. Like a big, like I mean, American Civil War, for example, there's a lot of battles going on. For example, the Napoleonics, the 100 Days campaign was a bit of an odd one because there's only a handful of battles, whereas if you went early war, you got tons. So yeah, it's just trying to think, well, how can we make the most out of our ranges? And yeah, I think that's where, yeah, and then Anglo-Zulu War again. Name 3 battles. I can name 2: Islamwana and Rorke's Drift. I don't know many others. So yeah, it's a bit of an odd one for them to release, but then also they can do what they want. So here we go then. David, and another red shirt, expecting heavy casualties. Then we've only got one so far, David, but I am going to add another one. Yes. Oh, are we on about Zulus, right? Or Anglo forces in Zululand. Right, Tim says, nice, but I'm already collecting 28mm. Fair enough. I've been very, very close to collecting 28mm Zulus. Thomas says, won't be picking it up, but nice for those who collect it. I'm really thinking about picking it up. And as just a personal hobby thing, I don't think I'll get any use out of it playing because I don't have anyone to play with. But I've been really tempted to collect some Zulus recently. I say recently, in the past year or so. I don't know. I just quite like the challenge of painting them up with the shields and stuff, and obviously different skin tones as well. It's not something I'm used to, so I thought it'd actually be good fun. And they are really cool looking warriors. I think they would make for a good paint. So yeah, there's that. But yeah, 28mm might just be a little bit much for just a hobby, like a relaxing hobby thing. Whereas this scale, I think, would actually be quite nice to do them in. So that's my thoughts behind it. I think I am gonna pick them up. I think it's a very interesting range for Warlord to do, like a period to do. I just don't think it's. I think it's a popular period, and everyone's going to buy it to play Rorke's Drift or Maybelline and Wana, but I just don't know what else you could do with them. So yeah, very interesting. Very interesting. Like they could have expanded the Napoleonics, for example, or. But yeah, still, I won't grumble. I'm excited to see it. And yeah, it'll go. There's something happening next Friday. I don't know whether that's a pre-release or more information. So yeah, I'd be keen to see what we get. And again, I think I could be tempted to pick up some Zulus. Maybe even British. Depends what the ranges are like. If the range is quite big for the British, if it's just a bunch of British infantry, I'm not fussed. But if they have artillery in there and cavalry in there, then yeah, I could be definitely tempted. And just the images I've seen from what they've released so far, images wise, yeah, they look it looks like a nice little bunch of models to paint. So yeah. David said, don't need oversized minis. Mate, these are closer to your range at least. Come on. They're only 13.5mm. Better than 28. Another red shirt to the pile. This guy needs... Right, okay. Got up my thinking now. Do I want white shirts in here? I've got some greys. It's so hard to know what tops to do. Let's do some whites then. I suppose at 13.5mm they could be painting as Sudan British or Boer War British. Yeah, I think. Yeah, or Boer War. Sorry, not Boer. Boer. Yeah, I think so. I don't know the massive difference in uniforms. I don't know if you could just paint them khaki and get away with it. Maybe. But yeah. So I see the appeal there, but I think if I was selling a model range, for example, I would want something with longevity, and that comes from having lots of versatility in the range. If there was a £20 box set of miniatures, and realistically you could only fight 2 historical battles out of them, or there was another £20 box of miniatures and you could fight up to 100 historical battles, you might favor, if historical battles is what you're interested in, you might favor that one with 100 battles, because there's a lot more options there for you. That's how I think about it. And that's why I'm just slightly worried about the Zulu War one. Just don't know how many battles you could realistically run. And don't get me wrong, everyone's going to want to do Rorke's Drift. Again, I don't know with the Zulus what unit options you can have, really. I guess you could have married and unmarried. You could have rifle-wielding Zulus. Apart from that, I don't know. I don't know what else options you got. I don't know enough about the period, if I'm honest. But as far as I'm aware. And then I guess rifle-wielding Zulus wouldn't be, you know, that... You know, I don't know. There wouldn't be that many of them. It's a bit like the weird choice from Warlord Games when they bought out the 100 Days British Napoleonics, and on the sprue they did rifles, some sort of 95th rifles on the sprue, but they were in like, and I know at the battle they did fight in line, but I remember thinking, well, surely if you were releasing a sprue, you'd rather just all line infantry and then have some rifles on like a little blister pack. So just little weird things like that I find sometimes with Warlord. It's almost like they're releasing a large scale minis, you know, minis that you can do large scale battles with, but then the sprues are still very thought of in a way of, oh, well, you only want to pick up a couple and you've got enough. So, well, for example, I don't want, like, if I were to buy a big box set of infantry for the British, it would all of a sudden you'd have too many rifles battalions, and then you got spares, and you'd probably rather have normal infantry battalions for that. So yeah, it's my 2 cents on it. David says 28 statuettes are not miniatures. Thomas says 6mm might as well be ants. We've got a fight in the chat now. I love 28mm. I just feel like it is slightly restricted on what you can do with them if you want to do large battles. I mean, if you're happy doing skirmishes, then they're fine. But if you want to do big battles, you suddenly need a big table, don't you? Look it out. Are we getting somewhere with shit? Okay, so I've still got 4 shirts to do. I just don't know what. I don't want a load of white shirts, do I? Maybe I have a few more whites shirts and then a couple of greys, maybe. I wasn't going to be looking up the shirts and see what kind of patterns I could do, but I haven't done that. Do you know what I find annoying with scales, right? So, if I was starting again tomorrow with the idea of what I want to play and stuff, 28mm wouldn't be the scale I went for, right? I would go for something smaller. And then you got the likes of sort of 12 mil, which I think is nice. Like, is it AB miniatures that do 12 mil? That's a good scale. That's good. But then, if you've ever looked at it, you're paying the same money for a 12 mil metal than you are a 28 mil plastic, and that's the kicker, I think, for me anyway. Tom says I prefer large scale skirmishes rather than division level games, and that's coming from someone who plays a lot of divisional level games. Yeah, I don't have enough experience playing games, if I'm honest, but I do like the idea of divisional level games. But then I think I come at that from more of a group game scenario rather than like just one-on-one. David said, "And ants are what troops look like to generals." Corporal C 28 mil, boo, but probably true. Right, I'm gonna. Oh god, I just realised the time. Let me search up some American Civil War shirts. I realise that's just going to show me. Like shirts for sale, you know. Infantry in shirts. Oh. Let's see what we got here. Here we go. All right, let's go. Let's go for a couple of skeleton horde. I think. Where's my skeleton horde? Let's go for some skeleton horde shirts, and that'll be it, I think. David says divisional level is a large skirmish. Yeah, for 28 mil it is. For 6 mil it is. Yeah. All right, let's do. I'm doing skeleton horde because I've just found a picture of some Perry miniatures from their website. The metals, Confederate infantry in shirts, and yeah, they show one in sort of a light cream, and it looks nice. So we'll go for that. I've got to pick up the speed because we're gonna run out of time. These are very. The sculpts on these are really nice. Just how like I think the folds in the fabric and stuff on the shirts and the body and that just seem quite natural, which is nice. But then I understand you've kind of got to exaggerate them slightly for the hobbying side of it, so you can actually paint the details, but they're not over exaggerated. They look nice. Alright, so that's a cream shirt, and I'll do maybe 2 more cream shirts. Why not? And then let's just look at what patterns I want to put on them. I think the cream shirts might lend themselves better to putting patterns on. Maybe. Sweet. Thomas says for 28mm, Brigade is a large skirmish game. Yeah, that's fair enough. A handful of regiments either side. All right. I actually quite like this colour for these shirts. I don't know why I didn't think of it before. Pattern shirts. Let's go Hawaiian. Yes. Maybe we will. Maybe we'll just do a little fun one. There you go. So it's a skeleton horde from Citadel. It's quite nice. And then we've done some white shirts and some grey shirts. As well as grey uniforms. And then our snakebite leather shirt. So David says it's 6mm. It's 6 units a side tops, not worth setting up terrain for. Well, I think with 28mm, like, what terrain are you really putting out? You can't have two, like, if you're on a 6x4 board, that is. You can have like clumps of trees and maybe a building and some roads. Otherwise, it all gets in the way, isn't it? All gets in the way, doesn't it? Just finished my second mini of the week, says Thomas. Not based. That's fine. It's progress. That's all you got. Let's have a look at this dude again. I really like the way he's turned out. His face details are quite shallow, so maybe I need to just... In fact, I might do that quickly now. I wonder if we just use a bit of null on it and just dip it in the eyes. I might do that with Agrax, actually. Put a couple of drops in his eyes. Because, yeah, his eye features are quite shallow. Maybe. Darken them out slightly so you can see. Anyway, Colonel Burgwin, here we go. Your regiment's forming, so it's going to start speeding up now, isn't it? Right, that guy needs socks. So let's do some skeleton horde socks. Why not? Is there any others with socks? Can't be two. This guy's got socks. He's not. All right. Depending on the here we go. Right, the Archer Gamer did a pike block with Bradford City kit on it. Bloody hell. Thomas, depending on the table size, 6x4 will be a hill, some trees and some fences, maybe a building, unless it's Dead Man's Hand where... I mean, yeah, Dead Man's Hand is a... Yeah, I'm thinking of sort of divisional level games. I should have clarified that, but yeah, I'm thinking like divisional level games. You know, yeah, what I was meaning was you're not going to have like much sort of movement blocking terrain on a 6x4 table if you're doing like a divisional game. Otherwise, yeah, it would just completely bog down straight away. But yeah, if your game's like a skirmish game that you're using like Dead Man's Hand, yeah, for example, having a whole town would make sense. All right. I'm happy with how it's going. Hats. Let's finish some hats off. Right. Not you, not you, not you, not you, not you, not you. Where's my favourite? Garagax Sewer. Here we go. Thomas says, yeah, for a division level games on a 6x4, might just be a hill. Or like having like fence lines, but not really impacting your movement. More maybe just light cover if you're shooting at them. David says, yeah, 6x4 mil at 6 mil would get you the whole game of whole Battle of Gettysburg. Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't know if I should be doing these hats in Garget Sewer when I'm going to probably be doing everyone's hair in that, but right, that is one hat. That guy's got a bandage on his head, so I'm going to have to paint that quickly. What other hats do I have? This hat here, and then a couple of hats. I do like the look of these chaps. And it'd be cool to maybe pick up some more head packs at some point. Right, let me just replace. Right, so Tim says, how do I add pics to the community page? Is it on here or Facebook? We've got either or, Tim. We do have it on YouTube and we've got it on Facebook. If you want to hold fire a moment, I can show you how to do it on Facebook once I load that up. I'm just going to do these hats and then I'm going to jump onto community pages anyway. So I can show you then if you like. But yeah, we did chuck it on the Facebook one if you want. That's probably the easiest. And yeah, when you just go to post something on there, you should be able to select photos at that point. It's a brown hat. And then I'm going to do another brown hat here, and then the rest will be 2 black hats. Trying to change it up a little. I like this hat for a dark leather, but also I'm conscious I don't want everyone having the same colour hat. Because we want it to be a bit more nicer to look at. Okie dokes, that's that. And then I'm just going to quickly go in with the black. And do these last 2 hats. And then, yeah, come next stream, we'll look at doing the shirt patterns. I think the red shirts I'll leave red, grey shirts I'll leave grey, white shirts I think I'll leave, it'll just be the yellow ones. I think I'll try and add a bit. I don't know, I'll look into some patterns, see what takes my fancy. David, the 32nd Austrian Hussars now have breeches. Very nice. Tim says, I've uploaded to King Matt Spear on Facebook, but not on the YouTube community page. How can I access that? Right, I'll walk through it. Well, I'm going to have a quick look now, because I think it's just a matter of going to my channel. You go to my channel, you'll have at the top, you'll have like home, video, shorts, lives, playlists, posts. Above that, you should have a community page there. I wonder if I share it here, you might be able to use it. There you go. See if that link sends you there, Tim. Hopefully it does. I like this head they've sculpted. It almost looks like a pirate head rather than a soldier. Cool. Hat's done. Got it, cheers. No problem, Tim. Right, so let's do a quick rundown of what's happened. So we have shirts and hats done. This guy needs his bandage painting, so we're going to do that now. Shirt and hats done. So we'll revisit the shirts next time and look at doing some checkered patterns or something to them. And then it'll be on to sort of the belts and the boots. Right, where's my guy with his... So this guy's got a white bandage on his head, covering up one of his eyes. He's been injured in battle. It's a nice little detail. It's nice having these heads because I can potentially use some kit bashing in the future with other kits. Especially with these bandage heads, I've got a Confederate ambulance I'm going to be doing at some point. So I can use that. But yeah, yeah, probably next step will be doing the black detailing on like the belts and stuff. Just going to paint some of these. Some of these shell jackets are sort of open, and there's a shirt poking through. Maybe I'll just do. This guy's going to have a red one actually. Yeah, I think if I can just get a bit of pattern on the shirts, maybe it might just look a bit better in my thoughts rather than just having a plain shirt. That's my thinking behind it. Thomas, have you given any more thought to diving into Dead Man's Hand yet? I really think you'd enjoy it. Seventh Son has a few videos on it which he praises and it's easy to pick up. I'm not against it at all. I'm not against it at all. It's just, I don't know. I'm just project wise, it's all a bit of a. I've not got much going on at the moment. I'm not playing many games at the moment. I think if I could get into a community or my mates playing it, I think I'd be more keen to do it. But yeah, I've not really looked too much into it at the moment. I know. Is it Wargames Atlantic does the sprues? Someone does the plastic kits. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll pick one up for fun just to do on the channel and then see what comes from it. But yeah, I've not really thought much more into it at the moment. But I'm not against it. It's just I don't know. I've not done a lot of hobbying. I've got a load of sort of Warhammer Fantasy that I'm meant to be painting, and I've just not done. That's where my priorities are at the moment. Main thing's sort of getting all through this, which is happening. That's another. It's getting there. Yeah, I'm liking the progress I'm making with all my Civil War collection. Let's give him a grey shirt. Cool. All right, right. So let's go check out the community stuff. if you do get into it, get the 2-player startup set, best on the market, 15-minute minis, 3 single story buildings, and scatter plus rule cards and dice. Ooh. Let me have a look at that now. Although we can actually... Right. Let's move you over there. Great Escape Games. There we go. It's not all game thematic. Let's check out the... Let's see what the starter set is. The starter set on this site here. Build your own box. I do have... Where's he gone? I do have a wagon behind me from Great Escapes Games. Just one of their... Where's it gone? This one, General Purpose Wagon. I got that for my Confederate ambulance because I bought some miniatures on eBay and they had all the ambulance crew in there, just not the metal ambulance itself. So I bought this, so I use that. Oh, the gallows set's nice. Is there a... Let's see what's in the clearance. Oak leaves, steep bases. Oh, they're nice. Anyway, here you go. Where's the starter set? There we go. I found it. Thanks, Thomas. I found it. Right. What's this get us then? A couple of buildings. Nice. That's nice. What miniatures have we got? I guess it would tell us. I assume it would just be bad guys and good guys. 10. Oh, so it's just gunfighters. And you can just sort of make your 2 posses with it. Nice. Plastic set's nice, though. There's some nice buildings, actually. Are they plastic buildings? I assume so. Yeah, they are. So, can I buy those? What's going on here? Can I buy these buildings separately? That's a good name for a CSE, General Purpose Wagon. General Purpose Wagon? I'm going to look at some more of the... I like the buildings. Yeah, that starter set's tasty, actually, isn't it? If I can get someone in on it. Maybe I'll have to convince plastic building and scenery. Right. Nice. Now I like it. Very cool. Thanks, Thomas. Thanks for the sharing. Yeah, I'll have to. I don't know. It's something I'll look into because yeah, I'm not against it. It's just I kind of want to play it if I can. Right, community stuff. That's where I've got to do this annoying thing because I don't know how to sort. I just want to be able to view this in chronological order, not, you know. Okay, let's just scroll back. I don't know. I don't know how far I've got to go back now. Kind of annoying. I kind of hoped... But anyway, right. This was last time. Okay. Yeah, right. We've seen this. We saw Thomas's work last time. We saw his horse holders, very nice. Don't think we saw this from Tim, but here we go. Here's some finished. I want to say they look finished to me. They look great. Let's have a look for the. I thought you said someone had a pink waistcoat somewhere, Tim. Or is this a different unit you're doing? Perry's officer, nice. Yeah, I just thought I've not got a flag bearer for my guys, but that's because they're it's Colonel Bergwin himself. Yeah, very nice. Nice ginger chops there. Maybe I'll do a ginger guy. What do you reckon? So you've gone for the blue caps, nice. Nice. Here are them pre-basing. Second row, you say? Let me go have a look. I think more orange shirt. Oh, there. Oh, that looks quite red to me from here. That's all. But yes, I see now. The orange shirt. I tell you what, I'm not against the orange shirt. I quite like that. I've got an orange here as well. Maybe I should have done it. Maybe next time. Here's an officer. Oh, it's that officer. Yeah, nice. I do like the shoulder, the sword on the shoulder. That's nice, isn't it? So this is your Perry Miniatures officer pointing. So is that a head from? Now he's in the front. Oh yeah, there he is. That's the head from the officer's sprue, is it? From Ragged Rebs with the pointing. Is that a pointing finger from Perry's? Or it's hard to say, isn't it, when it's all jumbled. I did say when I was chatting to Matt from Rebellion Miniatures, I said it would be nice to have an officer's arm sprue. And he's on board with it, so that would be cool to like maybe have some pistols and some sabers or swords. Very nice. Very cool. Yeah, all looking good. Seems so animated from there. And here's oh yeah, it does that thing, doesn't it? It'll just cycle back to previous stuff. Oh yeah, this is. I'm gonna thumb everyone's up. Yeah, okay. So I got this in the post today, the other day, which is really cool. My brother sent it to me. So it's Gardner's. Gardner was a photographer during the Meg Civil War, so it's just a load of his photos, which is really cool because there's some shots. They're not all sort of battle casualties. Some of them are just sort of. There was one photo from just sort of outside of Manassas where the Confederates built like a big fort earthworks. That's quite cool to see. So yeah. Tim says, I hacked Perry's cavalry sword arm and carved the arm and added some putty to make the sword swing back behind his head. Yeah, nice. No, it looks nice, Tim. David said, that's why you like the idea of Zulus, Matt. A whole army of people with the same colour hair. It's a cheat code, yes. Slightly, yeah. I don't know, actually. I could go for, if you think about, I don't know, maybe some white-haired Zulus, some older, experienced leaders. Who knows? But yes, majority, they'll all be the same hair. Right. Yeah, so this is Gardner's photograph book. I should have taken some photos of inside the book. But yeah, there's some really cool photos. So each page is a photo, and then you have like a paragraph or two of about it. And it's just quite interesting to see. And like there was one of like Confederate earthworks, and then they had the earthworks where they had sort of log cannons, obviously dummy cannons. I can't think what they call them now. But that was quite cool to see, and it just sort of went through and explained them all. And then some, I think one of them was of Meade's staff and all the officers. That was quite cool. So yeah, that was a really nice book. It's quite a nice surprise as well to just have that through the post, and just didn't realise. There's some brutal shots taken just after Gaines Mill, says David. Yeah, I've been flipping through this. I've not gone all the way through yet, so it's sort of in chronological, I think. So maybe but near the end of the war, I'll get there. Sorry, I'm yawning so much. Here's some more stuff from Tim. There's the firing poses from Warlords. They're a nice. They are a really nice nice set. They are a nice set. So does that pose come with the firing people? I can't remember now. Oh, sorry, Thomas, I missed that. Currently trying to make my own static grass shaker using chewing gum tub and some pinholes. That's how it goes. Ooh, best of luck. If not, like a mini sieve would be good. Oh yeah, pool. I don't know if we've seen pool stuff before. I don't know if anyone's seen pool EC. I don't know. But yeah, they posted this, which is nice. And some nice sort of basing as well, which is quite cool. Some static grass, some sort of mud, and then little leaves. I did something similar with my World War II British, which I started collecting a long time ago. But some Virginia. Oh, pardon me. Some Virginia infantry, all in sort of that. It looks like a butternut to me. I don't think that's grey. I don't know if the camera's playing with my eyes, but very nice. Quite earthy tones. Quite yeah. That's nice. Yeah, very nice. Nice work. Nice, solid, uniform-looking unit, which is nice. Gaines Mill is 1862 June. Yeah, I'll have a look, David, and see if there's anything from Gaines Mill in that book. Again, there's quite a few photographers of the Civil War. This is just Gardner's ones. So I don't know what famous photos he had. I need to go through it more. But yeah, Flags of War flags, very nice. I do recommend. Well, they don't have such a wide range as G&B, but they are a bit cheaper, and you can't knock the quality. They're great. Oh yeah, this is another one from Paul. Oh look, he's an Aussie. He's an Australian. Very cool. So yeah, a really cool church building. Very nice. I don't know what kit this is. It says Perry Miniatures. I wonder if it is. Oh, Renedra. Renedra. Yeah, very nice. So these are really cool. A nice little table piece in there to have a fight around, have a church in the middle or something like that. I always say Dunker's Church, but that's quite iconically not looking like that. Did I like it? I'm making sure I like everything. I commented on them, I just didn't like them. So this was. Oh, maybe I've not shown them yet then. So I've only done photos. So yeah, I was working on my Signal Corps bases and Strong Vincent. And then I've got them based up. Yeah, this is where they're at currently. I've not put grass on yet, but we've got one chap. So I think more commonly they use this flag. And I only had one of them. I didn't want to buy another set of flags. So this chap, I just used the red one because that comes on there as well. And I'm like, well, actually, it's just nice having different colours on there rather than both of the same flags. So, yeah, so we've got this guy. He stood on the rock. He stood on the rock. Now, these guys did come on sort of little metal puddle bases. So I had to cut them off carefully, which sort of worked. And yeah, we've got an officer behind, which is quite cool. And then here we go. Guy on, so he's actually mounted on the back there. So he's not. I didn't mount him on the rocks. I mounted him just on the base. And then yeah, we got this guy on the rocks. So I thought like having them sort of at the top of the hill, getting on a rock to get even higher, so they could wig wag to their heart's content. And then here's Strong Vincent. So he is on a rock. I did end up moving him slightly, which then took the paint off the rock that I spent ages doing. But then I just sort of dabbed a bit of grey on there, and you can't really tell. So there he is, but I just need his flag. It'd be nice when I get a flag sorted. I think I might. I really torn. For G&B, I can pay like £3.80 or something like that for the 5th Corps flag, and that will get me 2 brigades because they sell them in packs of 2, and it's sort of like will be a couple of brigades from 5th Corps. So I could get 2 brigade flags for that amount, or for £10 I could have the whole of 5th Corps flags. So I'm just a bit like, well, yeah, I could just spend £3.80 plus postage, or I could spend £10 plus postage from Flags of War and get the whole Corps. Because, for example, I've got Sykes in metal from Perry's, so I could straight away do the Corps command there in Sykes, and then maybe just another couple of brigades. I don't know. But yes, that's my chaps. That's what I got up to 3 days ago. I can't do the maths on that, but there you go. Here's some more from Tim. That's the officer. Very nice. It is. That's a nice pose, dude, isn't it? Look at him. Guys coming along nicely down there as well. They are nice pose models. There's something about them that they just have that character. Nice crisp detail. I do like them. I need to get some more Warlord stuff, to be honest. It's very nice. Is this the same? Yeah, it is. Just doing post. Had to pause painting because this Confederate officer insisted he have his likeness made. It is nice, mate. Very good. Very good. And then here's the rest of the project. So, look at that. Coming together. Nice butternut as well. Thomas says, picked up some Sash and Sabre after being told it was a good fit with Perry's, but they were too small. I think from memory, mine came in a little small, but I've based them on Perry's and they're fine. Obviously, with Perry plastics, Perry metals, they would probably fit in well with. I think with Perry plastics, the Union and the Confederate box sets are quite big compared to the generic plastic box set. So you might find that they fit nicer with the generic plastic box set rather than the Confederate or Union. I do like the Slash and Shape stuff. If that's what I've got, that is, I'll have to Google it. I can't remember from memory. David said, if I move Strong Vincent further on his base, he might have survived. Yeah, I put him closer to the edge of the rock, closer to the enemy. That's some nice detailing on the blanket roll as well. That's nice. Very good. Can't remember painting this guy. I need to have a look back through it. I'm sure I did. Very nice drummer. Very good. Bugles there as well. Yeah, nice. Very nice. Nice one, Tim. That's me really hot and sweaty after mowing the lawn. In case you were wondering. I saw this. Tim says, I like the old glory metals. They fit well for me. Thomas says, it was Burdan's to add to my 12 current, but didn't fit. Oh, okay. That's a shame. Progress has been made. About halfway through finish. This is David from earlier. Are these your Austrians? They got to be, aren't they? They're in white. Very nice. All ranked up. Very good. Are they Dragoons there? I think I can see the helmet of the Dragoons, and then these Hussars. Are there more? There's some more Dragoons there. Very nice, mate. Oh, painting that many horses make me feel weird. I don't know if I'd have the strength, if I'm honest, David. But fair play, you've done it. Oh yeah, this is what I uploaded just before we went live. Got my flags done on the officers. So I need to do the rims on the flags. But yeah, we've got old Reynolds here. That person, I can't remember now. So Wadsworth, there we go, Wadsworth, Lysander Cutler, and then Solomon Meredith in the back. And yeah, the flags just look nice. The flags do look nice. That's why part of me wondering about using some more of the first corps flags, where I can use sort of the second division. Would be quite cool. Again, I know the Union corps and divisions and stuff tend to be sort of a little bit smaller, but at the moment I could probably get away with another division, because at Gettysburg they only had 2 brigades. I could do the 3rd brigade, paint that up, or maybe just jump into the 2nd division and do a divisional commander and two brigades. I don't know enough about it historically, but just for the sake of having the blue flags, because what is it? It's yeah, so 2nd division is the blue flags. 3rd division is the white flags again, but with the blue dots, not the red dots. So yeah, I don't know, or maybe I just do the whole of first core and just get all those flags. I've got the flags ultimately, so. David says, note the use of pizza boxes. They make excellent painting tables. Ah, good idea. Yeah, so here's more of my dudes. So yeah, they were based up the other week, and then yeah, there's the flags. I think I had to cut a couple of the flags down because they just sit too high in my storage boxes. I cut down the signal core flags. They were really tall poles. I ended up just cutting them down nice and short because I thought actually they don't need to be massive. Yeah, so there's the Union chaps that we did a long time ago, and I've only just got around to sorting them out. Here's Thomas's flag holders. He posted this just after the last stream from memory, because you put the little fence in, which is cool. I like that. Was that homemade, Thomas? Did you make that yourself, or did you or was that bought? That looks smart. That was obviously me earlier. That's fine. John Clark's commented on it. Thank you, John. He says, very nicely done and based. Thank you. So here's the Confederate counterparts to the Union. So we've got Van Dorn here with his Van Dorn battle flag. I think that's the coolest flag ever. And then Harry Heath. I do like that base. I'm quite happy with it. Him sort of chatting to this other officer. So I used the flag sheets from Studio Historia for these chaps. I did have a look at Harry Heath's HQ flag, and I couldn't get to the bottom of it. Like I looked online, and they were saying he probably had the second or third issued Army of Northern Virginia flag. So I had these kicking around, so I've used these. I don't know what they are, but I kind of didn't want them all to be the same, but for the sake of I had the flags here and it meant didn't fork out on money and stuff, I just used them. So you've got Davis, Archer, and Pettigrew, I think it was, and Heath. So there you go. Some Confederate commands there. I really like Van Dorn. Really enjoyed painting these Confederates from Warlord Games, and lovely, very kindly donated by Thomas to the channel. Yeah, I really like painting these, and really happy with how they came out. I think they just looked awesome. And in fact, like I think all of these, I know Archer's base that I did up was a bit of a scramble, like chuck them together. It was a bit of a throw them together, but I kind of like how all the others turned out. Yeah, so I'm happy with that. And I think at the time I wasn't sure who to do for this base, but then I went with Van Dorn. Actually, I really like Van Dorn because of his cool HQ flag. Red Badge of Courage is what Tim shared, so feel free to check that out. I won't do it on here, but will I do it on here? Sure, I don't know. Oh, this is the shop, yeah. Should we check this out? Are we going to get in trouble for watching this? Did you know Heath and Custer were friends? I didn't, but I mean, I'm not surprised because a lot of people were friends. Oh, it's Lionheart Filmworks. Well, let's turn that down, shall we? I feel like I may have seen this, some of this like behind the scenes. Is this sort of a fan-made film then? Is it a... Any American Civil War films or series are good because you just get to see American Civil War stuff. So I feel like this is the fact that they're asking for donations. I assume it's not by a major sort of producer and stuff, but you can still have good stuff from that. That's good. Oh, what core badge you got? What core badge they got? The diamond, is that fourth core? I don't know. Apologies. Not enough facial hair. Blue diamond, yeah, blue diamond is on the cap, isn't it? That was, is it, who met, I can't think who did the core badges now. It's not Butterfield, is it? He did the bugle calls, didn't he? But I'm pretty sure the first, sixth core, is it? Yeah, I'm pretty sure the blue diamond was the first, or the diamond was the first badge, wasn't it? From memory, I don't know. I might be wrong now. I thought it was the diamond, and then. Oh, because was it Hooker's core? Carney made the core badges. He started it, yeah. And was that a diamond then, Carney? Yeah, because they started using them, and then sort of spread from there, didn't it? Red Badge of Courage. 2027. It's coming soon, chaps. Anyway, that was enjoyable. That looks like a good watch. We'll watch that when it comes. Tim doing some more bases. Nice. I do like that base. What do you use for your basing, Tim? What's that fine? Is that just sand or? You should, Tim. If you, Carney was third core. Thanks, Thomas. If you could, Tim, it'd be cool to do like a video showing how they magnetize and how well they magnetize. I'd be interested to see how strong that is on those magnets. Thomas, 40 minutes. The only minis I painted this week. Also, some Dead Man's Hand Cavalry. Really need to press on with this project. Have 18 out of 100 painted. We'll be picking some more of the Metal Legends of the West for my American Civil War Cavalry. Very nice. There you go. Mounted and dismounted. It's such a cool thing, isn't it? Having mounted and dismounted. There you go. These chaps are all based now. Nice. Very nice, Thomas. And that's, I will refresh it in case we had any last minutes. So it's basswood, 1.5 mil thick. What do you do for your like the like grass and stuff though? The diamond is third core. Ah, good researching, thanks. I thought it started with the diamond. Right. Anyway, let's see if anyone's posted on YouTube because it's quite often. No, no one. Well, yeah, Tim has, but no one else. General Michael often posts there. That's why I thought I'd check. But yeah, Texans want to play sharp practice. Look at these. Very nice. Thanks, Perry Union Guide Sheet. Bingo. The Perrys. Coming in to save us again. Alright, nice. Very good. Right, we're going to I'm going to round it off there because we're actually 15 minutes over and I want to get in bed. But yeah, we made good progress at least. So yeah, massive thanks to everyone who's watched. Really appreciate everyone watching this live. We've had the likes of Thomas, Tim, Blake, Soraya, Mark, David, I don't know who else we've had. I've said Blake, I've said Thomas, I've said Tim, I said David, I said Mark, Soraya. Yeah, I think I've got all of you. Apologies if I haven't, but thank you everyone for watching this live. I really appreciate it. A massive thanks to everyone watching this back on YouTube as well. I appreciate you getting this far and watching it. My sort of channel goals with the live streams, and it's good to see people sort of watching them and getting the hours watched. I really appreciate it. So thank you so much for everyone watching it. I've said before I'm not going to be here next weekend. I'll be away. but we will be about the weekend after. I do have a couple of weekends away coming up as well, but I'll just have to make an effort of putting up the stream schedule. So I'm just going to reply to some chat in a minute. So Tim, so far I use a Valio Earth texture, stipple it on slightly and drag a brush. Yeah, no, it looks nice actually. It's quite a fine grain, is why I was asking. David, I have a question. Why does Ridley Scott get stick brackets rightly so for historical inaccuracy, but Swedish pop sensations ABBA get a pass for saying Napoleon surrendered at Waterloo? Maybe ABBA are more liked than Ridley Scott. That would be my answer. I know if I had to take one of them out for a meal, I would pick one of the ABBA lot over Ridley Scott. There we go. That's why. So yeah, thank you everyone. Again, I should have said at the start, thanks to Rebellion Miniatures for sending me these miniatures. I really appreciate it. I'm really enjoying painting them. I know a couple of you said in the chat as well, you're painting them alongside and enjoy it. So yeah, and we'll just rattle through. So away next week, and then we'll be back. If for whatever reason I'm not, I'll put it up on the Facebook and YouTube. But yeah, I appreciate it. But just because I'm not here next week doesn't mean people shouldn't be sending in pictures on the Facebook. So please keep sending them because I enjoy watching them, and we're building the community, right? Which we're trying to do. So please do that. So thank you so much, everybody, and have a wonderful rest of your Sunday. Have a wonderful week going forward, and I will see you on the next stream. So good night, everybody, and I'll see you again. Bye bye.